morning Pratikraman for the sins that occurred at night, previous night. And Devsi Pratikraman, it is for the for violation that occurred during the daytime. For two Pratikraman instead of two, Acharya started giving the sir in the sermon saying, do it only one Devsi Pratikraman if you cannot do two. Now, if you cannot do daily, do it once every 15 days. That is called Pakhi Pratikraman. Even if you cannot do, you do it once every 4 months, which is Chaumasi Pratikraman. And if you cannot do for entire year Pratikraman, you must do now. Okay, it is a must. They use the word, you must do the Samvatsari Pratikraman. So this is just a little history background what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, that's why the Samvatsari Pratikraman. Pratikraman is the most important ritual, and in particular Samvatsari Pratikraman, that is most significant. Every Jain should do it. Okay. So,
Pravin uncle.
Yeah.
Are you scrolling down your document?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to bring it here. See, this is what if you can, this document will be given to you, send your email, okay, to Sejal, and you will get the copy of this document. So you don't have to start writing the notes now. You can just understand here. And any questions, no, you will have it, we will do it, okay? So what I have covered here a little bit, okay, is the Acharyas incorporated all 6 avashyaks into the Pratikamana ritual by adding the remaining 5 avashyak sutras. This way, a person needs to perform only Pratikaman ritual to complete all 6 avashyaks. This is the reason the 4th avashyak Pratikaman became very important, and the term Pratikaman is used as a common name for all 6 essential acts. Now, Pratikaman avashyak. And like I explained you, the Pakhi Pratikaman for 15 days, the Chaumasi, and this is like, if you cannot do this, then do at least this. If you cannot do that, then at least you do. But if you cannot do any of this one, at least you must do the Samvatsari Pratikaman. Okay. And that is the things. Now, the second things what I'm mentioning here, the only difference among the 3 expanded Pratikaman, which is the Pakhi, Chaumasi, and Samvatsari, it is nothing but the Kausag. In Pakhi Pratikaman, we do 12 Logas Kausag. In Chaumasi Pratikaman, 20 Logas Kausag. And in Samvatsari Pratikaman, 40 Logas Kausags. No, it is a very strong tradition that Svetambar Murti Pujak must do annual Samvatsari Pratikaman. Actually, it is a strong tradition across the Jain community. The original Jain tradition was Jain Shravak, layman. Now, this is a very important one. When we do Pratikaman, and particularly in India right now, and then we'll compare it, what we do in the Western world. Okay. The original Jain tradition was Jain Shravak and Jain Shravika. They perform the Pratikraman separately. Means Shravak will do Pratikraman, their own Pratikraman. Shravika will do their own Pratikraman. Same thing, the monks will do their own Pratikraman. And sadhvis okay, will do their own Pratikraman. Because each Pratikraman ritual for each Sangh, we have a Chaturvid Sangh, Sadhu, Sadhvi, Sravak and Shravika. Each Sangh is different. Monks Pratikraman is separate than the Shravak Pratikraman. There are certain things are common, but there are many components, particularly Aloyana, okay, and Atichar. There are significant different because their vows are different. You got to keep that thing in mind. We do Pratikraman when we violate our vows. Then we ask for forgiveness and we don't repeat that mistake again. That is the essence of Pratikraman. Pratikraman essence is you have taken the vows, you made an error in practicing the vow for whatever reason right now. And at the end of the day or at the end of the 15 days or at the end of Chaumasi or at the end of the yearly Samvatsari Pratikraman, we ask for forgiveness for all our errors. That's what we have done during that time period. And that thing is because our vows are different. Sadhu's vows are 5 Mahavrats. Sadhu and Sadhvi, when they take Diksha, when they renounce the world, they are given 5 Mahavrats. Okay, once they take the 5 Mahavrats, they are initiated. Okay, I mean a brief description wise, I'm telling you. While for Jain Shravaks and Shravika, they have to take the 12 vows of lay people. In the 12 vows, there are 3 groups. That 5 Anuvrats, okay, which is a minor vows in a sense, okay, compared to Mahavrat, Anuvrat is a minor vows in a sense, okay. Then 3 Gunavrat and 4 Siksavrat. This way, total 12 vows are given to every Savak when Bhagwan Mahavir attained Keval Jnana. And he delivered the first sermon. And if you know the history or life of Bhagwan Mahavir, that sermon was done in the jungle where there was no human being present. So what happened? Only heavenly gods and animals were present. Since his sermon was failure on the very first day, because there was no human being, nobody came, take initiated or becomes. So generally Tirthankar, the day they attain the Keval Jnana, they establish Chaturvid Sangha. In case of Mahavira, it happened the next day. Then after attaining Keval Jnana, the first sermon was done where he attained the Keval Jnana, and there was no human being, so nobody took no Diksha or nobody took the 12 vows of the lay people. Is the next day when he went to nearby town, delivered the sermon, he established the Chaturvid Sangha. Chaturvid Sangha means there was a one monk who initiated it, one Sadhvi got initiated, one Shravak got initiated, and one Shravika got initiated. And one or more, I'm just saying, at least one got initiated. So in Chaturvid Sangha, in case of Bhagwan Mahavir, Gautam Swami was the first sadhu who initiated and took the 5 Mahavrats. and there are more other Gandhars took the Diksha, okay, which you know the story with the Bhagwan Mahavir, all Gautam Swami and all their colleagues, okay, they all got initiated, and they're all disciples, their followers also got initiated. But the first sadhvi who got initiated was Chandan Bala. Okay, so Chandan Bala became the head of the Sadhvi Sangh. Gautam Swami became the head at that time, okay, of the Sadhu Sangh. Now, for Shravak and Shravika, the first Shravak who got initiated and took the 5 Anuvrats and 3 Grunvrat and 4 Siksavrat is Anand Shravak. And first Shravika was Sulsa Shravika. They got initiated. Now, all these 4 people, 4 Sangha, there are differences, Mahavrat and Anuvrat, that's the one difference. And the second difference in these vows is their gender. There are certain vows for male gender and for a certain vows are applicable to female gender. So their Pratikraman is different. The Shravak Pratikraman is different than the Shravika's Pratikraman, and Shravika's Pratikraman is different because of the differences in the gender. Okay. This is the way it continued for up to 2000 years after Mahavir's Nirvana. But what happened? Just about 500 years ago, okay, or after 2000 years of Mahavir's Nirvana, one Acharya, Sri Vijay Chandra Suri, started a new tradition and did the Pratikraman with Shravak in the historical place is the Khambat in Gujarat. And initially, many other Jains opposed it, many other Acharyas opposed it, but slowly and slowly, that tradition picked up the momentum. And now we do, which is not a really old tradition, that Shravaks are doing the Pratikraman with sadhus, and Shravikas are doing Pratikraman with sadhvis. Okay. Now, when this thing happens, what happens to their separate vows, which is not, Shravak's vows are not applicable to monks, or monks' vows are not applicable to Shravak, because we cannot live as a Shravak taking the 5 Mahavrats and living in the society. You can properly practice 5 Mahavrat when you renounce the world. You don't have a place of residence there, and where somebody prepares the food for you, or you prepared for the foods for you. This is not allowed in the Mahavrat. Only in Anuvrat that is allowed. Anuvrat says that do not hurt anybody in Anuvrat except one sense living being. Except one sense, because without that you cannot function, period. Your Shravak and Shravika's duty and responsibility towards family, raising the family situation, all right, you cannot perform that activity. If you want to take the full Mahavrat, which is you cannot hurt any living being, which also includes one sense living being too, then you got to take the Diksha renunciation. You have to renounce the word. So Bhagwan Mahavir, being a very practical and pragmatic person, when he gives Anand Shravak these vows, that vows is defined in the Angagam number 7, Upashak Dasang Agam. So if you want to read what are our vows as a lay person, you go to Angagam number 7, Upashak Dasang. Okay, and it's clearly explained. Bhagwan Mahavir has given to Anand Shravak the following 5 Anuvrats and then 3 Grunavrats and 6 Shavrats. This is the most important, right? If you want to know what are our vows, the problem today, we do the Pratikraman. That Pratikraman, what we are doing, we haven't taken the vows of 12 vows of lay people, what Anand Shravak has taken from Bhagwan Mahavir. And if you don't take vows, how can you do Pratikraman? Because the meaning of Pratikraman is you have taken the vows and you have violated certain rules of that vows. Okay? And for that purpose, you are doing the Pratikraman. But if you haven't taken the vows, what good the Pratikraman will do? Because you don't know what violations you have done because you haven't taken the vow. So I'm not saying don't do Pratikraman. What I'm saying is first you should take the vows. Okay? That is the most important one thing. Being a Jain, if you want to call yourself Jain, then Jain Shravak at least takes the 12 vows of the lay people. And I give you the Agam reference, the complete book that tells you, what are those vows. And Bhagwan Mahavir give it to Anand Shravak and Sulsa Shravik. Okay. So this is the one you got to keep in mind. But today we just follow the tradition like parampara. Okay. Well, our fathers and great grandfathers, they did. We are just doing it. And it's like an obligation. We have it. And we are fulfilling that obligation once a year. And that's the end of it. Okay. That is the blindly following our tradition. That's what I call, that way. And once you do even if you do follow these blindly traditions, okay, you are satisfied that we have accomplished something religiously, okay. But if you properly understand it, take the vows, then do the Pratikraman, okay, and then don't repeat, improve it that way, okay. So that is the things. So, but what happened is after 400 to 500 years ago, Khambat, Gujarat, Acharya Sri Vijay Chandra Suri started a new tradition, did Pratikraman with Shravak in Vadiposal Upasraya, which is one of the places in Khambat. In the beginning, significant opposition occurred, but later on, other acharyas joined and this new tradition established in that sense, okay. It is now a permanent tradition among the Svetambar Murti Puchak Jain community. In the new tradition, acharyas have to expand the existing Shravak Pratikraman rituals by adding Aloena and Atichar Sutra of sadhus, because now they do together. So the base is the Shravak Pratikraman because sadhus are joining with the Shravak to help them to do the Pratikraman properly, whatever the reason, but this is the intent. And their Aloena and Atichar Sutra The sadhus one, they recite their own, and Shravak do their own, but they have to wait. And the entire Pratikraman only for Shravak would be lot less time, but when you do two together, it becomes a expanded time, and that is the reason we got like 3 hours type things. There are many things got added in the Shravak and Shravika's Pratikraman Sutra because of sadhvis and sadhus joined with them. Okay. So that is the reason, just to keep in mind. Note, there are other subsects. Now, this is the small note of what I'm trying to give you, is there are some other subsect in Shvetambar Murti Puja. They still do Shravak their own Pratikraman, Shravikas their own Pratikraman, and sadhus and sadhvis of that sect also do the own Pratikraman. It is not accepted, this tradition entirely, but majority. Okay? And majority of the Shvetambar have accepted that tradition. Do the Pratikraman with monks or nuns. Okay? So there are subsects of Shvetambar Murti Pujak like Pai Gach and Anchal Gach. Of course, their percentage is very small. Okay, but the Pai Gach and Anchal Gach, no, their monks and Shravaks, they do separately. Okay, so they follow the 2,000-year-old tradition, not the new one. Okay. In America, there are no fully ordained Jain monks and nuns. Jain Shravaks and Shravika mostly do Pratikraman together. See, now we got a new tradition coming in America or Western world, because we don't do all Shravak alone and Shravika alone. We just combine the two and we do like one Pratikraman in the Sangh. No, for that point of view. And again, that's the need arises, the changes occur, and it is being accepted. Here, we don't have a Chaturved Sangh. It's only 2 with Sangh, just Shravak and Shravika. Outside India, we don't have any fully ordained monk and nuns. Okay. Of course, we do get from India, with some exceptions, violation, whatever you call. Okay, take the Guru's permission. But I haven't found like somebody's permanently settled and practicing the Jainism in America the way the Jain monks do in India. Okay, it is not like that unless you modify the tradition, and that happens. Now